Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. If there's one thing which William Ruto is consuming effectively, then it is the intelligence briefings. William Ruto has been briefed by the NIS that Rigathi Gachagua is taking control of the mountain.
Ile yote inaendelea huko Nairobi ni sawa, lakini ile ambayo ni muhimu ni ground, na ground inasema ni Rigiji. That one I tell you without any fear of contradiction. Sisi tunasimama na wewe viongozi wa mashinani, and I want to give our MPs and senators free advice. Nyinyi pangeni ile mtapanga, lakini kama mnataka kuanguka 2027, jaribu mcheze na huu mzee wetu Rigiji.
And William Ruto is taking steps to tame Rigathi Gachagua. And for those who've been following the politics of the mountain very closely of late, you should have noted three clear things. Number one, William Ruto is trying to divide the mountain into East and Kikuyus. And even Kirinyaga is now being split from the Kikuyus to go to the eastern side. Because William Ruto understands that Kiambu is already gone. Nyeri is also going. Number two, William Ruto has also installed Professor Kithure Kindiki as Mount Kenya kingpin and the link between the mountain and the presidency. Ideally, Rigathi Gachagua being the senior-most official, government official from the mountain, ought to be the kingpin. And of course, by virtue of being the deputy president, he's supposed to be the principal assistant. But Mount Kenya MPs have told Rigathi Gachagua that Professor Kithure Kindiki is the kingpin. And of course, there's also the sustained attacks on Rigathi Gachagua. And today, another strategy emerged. William Ruto met with members of parliament from Nyeri County, minus Rigathi Gachagua. And that's going to form the basis of this analysis. And allow me to ask you this question. Why would the president meet with members of parliament from Nyeri County, where Rigathi Gachagua comes from, but Rigathi Gachagua, who is his principal assistant, is not there? The truth of the matter is that there is no way that kind of a meeting can be held without an objectives. So in this video, I want to reveal to you guys the objectives which William Ruto wanted to achieve by locking out Rigathi Gachagua from his meeting with the Nyeri MPs. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, why would William Ruto, the president, meet with Nyeri members of parliament minus Rigathi Gachagua? On Sunday, something also happened in the mountain. William Ruto was in Nyeri. Rigathi Gachagua was missing in action. Then Rigathi Gachagua attended an event in Kirinyaga, but William Ruto never delivered his message through Rigathi Gachagua. Instead, he opted to deliver the message through Anne Waiguru. But why would William Ruto organize a meeting with members of parliament, including Rigathi Gachagua's own member of parliament, without inviting Rigathi Gachagua? Of course, two things probably might have happened. Number one is that Rigathi Gachagua was not invited. And that's the assumption I want to make in this video. Or number two, Rigathi Gachagua decided to boycott. I doubt if Rigathi Gachagua would have avoided that meeting if he had been invited. So number one, in my view, is that William Ruto is keen on impeaching Rigathi Gachagua. So the meeting with Nyeri members of parliament is probably to share his frustrations with Rigathi Gachagua and also to pick their minds on the impeachment. What are they saying? If that motion were to be brought before the House, will they support it? What is their opinion? Are they opposed to it or are they supporting it? Because we've seen several members of parliament from the mountain disowning Rigathi Gachagua, including some members of parliament from Nyeri. And maybe those members of parliament from Nyeri, some of them will be comfortable with Rigathi Gachagua being kicked out. So William Ruto, I'm 100% sure, discussed the issue of impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua with these members of parliament. They looked at the pros and the cons. So that's number one. Number two, if you ask me, William Ruto is also sending a coded message to Rigathi Gachagua that I can deal with a mountain without you, and is starting it right from his backyard. The truth of the matter is that in 2022, William Ruto ventured into Mount Kenya minus the approval of Uhuru Kenyatta. By the time Uhuru Kenyatta realized, William Ruto had taken away the mountain. That is the exact strategy Rigathi Gachagua has been trying to use against Ruto in the mountain. But Ruto is now telling Rigathi Gachagua that I can meet with your members of parliament, I can meet with your MCs, and I can go to the ground without you. He went to the ground on Sunday without Rigathi Gachagua. He's met with the members of parliament from Nyeri without Rigathi Gachagua. The next time you will see William Ruto meeting with grassroots leaders minus Rigathi Gachagua. So it's basically just telling Rigathi Gachagua that you either ship in or ship out. But for me, I can go directly to the people. I can go directly through other elected leaders. So that's a message, and it is very clear. Number three, in my view, William Ruto is also trying to provoke Rigathi Gachagua to react, and also at the same time gauge the reaction of the ground. Because one of the things which is now emerging is that William Ruto used Uhuru Kenyatta and the mistreated he was subjected to persuade the mountain to support him. He also promised that he would never subject his deputy to similar treatments. But the mountain are seeing similar things. Rigathi Gachagua being mistreated, Rigathi Gachagua being sidelined, Rigathi Gachagua being, just being frustrated. So William Ruto is trying to provoke Rigathi Gachagua. Let me lock him out of this. How is he going to react? Uhuru Kenyatta effected that. Uhuru Kenyatta used that effectively against William Ruto. He would just provoke William Ruto. William Ruto would rant for a whole 2 weeks. Then Uhuru will just remain silent, then again. So I'm sure that Ruto is just trying to provoke Rigathi Gachagua to see the extent, to see what he can do. And of course, by doing that, he's also gauging the ground. Is the ground pro Rigathi Gachagua? For example, I'm told William Ruto is planning to go to Nyeri. Actually, he's embarking on a tour of the mountain, Kiambu, Nyeri, those other counties. But the ground is a bit hostile, so it's gauging whether he can go minus Rigathi Gachagua or whether he will have to go with Rigathi Gachagua. Because if, for example, William Ruto came all the way to Nyanza, Rigathi Gachagua followed him. Why do you think Rigathi Gachagua was missing in Nyeri? Probably he was not invited, and therefore they want to provoke him. Number four, in my view, is the Mount Kenya kingpin politics. The other day, 48 members of parliament out of 69 threw their weight behind Professor Kithure Kindiki as Mount Kenya kingpin, and the link to the president. So William Ruto is already sending that message to the mountain that you can either come to me directly or through Professor Kithure Kindiki. You can ignore Rigathi Gachagua. For me, that message is also coming out very clearly, and you can't deny it, that Ruto is simply telling Rigathi that, you know, as far as Mount Kenya politics is concerned, I'm the kingpin. Apart from that, any other person can do that. I remember when William Ruto was meeting with Kenyan MPs, and Moses Kuria would make a lot of noise. By that time, Moses Kuria was still a cabinet minister, and by that time I opined that Ruto was sending a message to Moses Kuria. And of course, even if the agencies had not protested, Moses Kuria was destined to go out of the cabinet. So in my view, is telling the mountain that I'm the kingpin. Forget about Rigathi. Number five, and by the way, before I explain to number five, allow me to also take this opportunity to introduce you guys to Lemfi. Lemfi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money back to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered instantly into your M-Pesa account, Airtel Money account, and of course, if you want, directly into your bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, The fifth reason why Ruto met these MPs minus Rigathi Gachagua is that he's trying to lock out Rigathi Gachagua from taking credit for development projects in the mountain. Something is happening in the mountain. William Ruto has secured some loans to complete some of the development projects in the mountain because the mountain were like regretting why they voted for Ruto while Uhuru was doing even better. So there were so many stalled projects in the mountain, most of which were initiated during Uhuru Kenyatta's time, and they were giving William Ruto and his allies serious political headache. For example, these members of parliament would not even go to the ground because whenever they were on the ground, projects were stalled all over. So he has secured some funding for some projects. He wants to take credit, sole credit for those projects, and assign those success to the MPs, not Rigathi Gachagua. And that's why he's meeting with these members of parliament. So the members of parliament will go to the ground with the message that Ruto amesema ataleta hii project. When the project will be launched, the MPs will be given prominence. Otherwise, ideally, in fact, that can also explain why Ruto decided to install Kindiki and assign him the link between him and the common men there, the leaders and the president, so that Kindiki now becomes the face. So these guys will say that this project, we got them through the president, and in the absence of the president, we got them through Professor Kithure Kindiki. Meanwhile, Rigathi Gachagua is busy with Usiguze Mlema, busy just moving around the mountain. So as Rigathi is making noise, for them, they'll claim that they were delivering. So for me, Ruto doesn't want Rigathi Gachagua to take credit. I'm 100% sure that some of the launches, Rigathi Gachagua will be locked out. Of course, Rigathi is Rigathi. He will not agree to it. He will storm some of those meetings, but that is the intention. Number 6, Ruto is already planning, arranging, na anapanga Mount Kenya politics. William Ruto did something to Uhuru Kenyatta, which Uhuru Kenyatta is still regretting to date. In 2017, Uhuru Kenyatta was desperate for re-election. William Ruto took charge of Jubilee campaigns at that time. Unknown to Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto was planting his people in various constituencies. William Ruto was ensuring that those who are strong, people like Kabogo, people like Kabando wa Kabando, people like were locked out. Instead, he brought people who are going to swear allegiance to him. By the time Uhuru Kenyatta realized, William Ruto had already planted his people in various positions. And that's why it was so easy for William Ruto to win most of those MPs after the handshake with Raila Odinga. That's exactly what he's now doing. He has realized that in certain areas, some MPs are aligning themselves with Rigathi Gachagua. He wants to say no. And those who are with Rigathi Gachagua are going to be taught political lessons. Their constituencies are going to witness fire moving forward. And lastly, Ruto is also taking the war directly to the footsteps of, or to the doorsteps of Rigathi Gachagua. Let us wait and see how this drama is going to unfold. But I can assure you, this is a war that William Ruto has started. I'm not so sure whether he's going to finish it. Because Rigathi Gachagua is not Uhuru Kenyatta. Rigathi Gachagua is not Raila Odinga. Rigathi Gachagua is Rigiji. He has already captured the minds and the imaginations of the mountain. William Ruto is already currently being viewed in the mountain as a betrayer. So let us wait and see how all this thing is going to unfold. Until that time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.